Good day, everybody. First and foremost, I would like to thank Mr. Henry Jong and the Kenyan Society of Value Analysis for inviting me, presenting the Institute of Value Management Malaysia to discuss something on the how to enhance organizational delivery systems through value management. I'm going to share some of the success stories pertaining to the VM applications with regard to the organizational delivery systems. I'm sure we are fully understood that delivery system of organizations revolve around the systematic, transparent, and strategic delivery of projects or programs. All in all is to achieve their organizational goals and vision, mission, and objectives, which being agreed upon by the shareholders and stakeholders of an organization, either because of this return on investment, value for money, social agenda, whatever being set by their key stakeholders. In this regard, value management being a system-based functional analysis effectively allows consideration of complex interrelationships. So value management is something which is very transparent and provide very good platform for the stakeholders coming together, looking into various perspectives and parameters, looking into the success of the desired goals. And of course, without forming the desired level, which being set by the delivery systems by the particular organizations. So now we are talking about correlation between the organizational systems to achieve their goals, vision, objectives, and how value management can enhance those strategic objectives of the organizations. As we ever know, organization already got their own established structures, such as operations and finance, human resource, IT, legal, marketing, R&D, etc. So, and by looking into the value perspective to value management, obviously it will further enhance the established objectives of the organizations, because value is looking to perhaps looking to the most cost-effective way to accomplish their functions. That is obviously the main objective of most organizations. All in all, is to satisfy the customers and users, which becoming the livelihood and the sustainability of the particular organizations. In the context of value management, we can achieve better value through many approaches. Could be cost reduction, could be function increase approach, or could be component approach, or could be through expanded growth approach. Any of those approaches could be a combination of two or so in that particular achieving the result which is being desired by the particular organizations. Conventionally, the results being achieved or project objectives or programs and so on, for this case considered as, say, physical development of a project, normally being handled by a project manager. So they have their own sets of assumptions and techniques and tools, and then and they also rely with architects and consultants and engineers, owners and clients. But most of the time, they were on silo approach, resulted in delay or late delivery of design development and formal contractors and development. Whereas in the context of value management, it is very systematic and rigorous in approach, whereby we group all these various stakeholders together with the support of subject matter experts and using structured based kind of workshops, looking into various perspectives and parameters. The goals are set, objectives are set, Then, and within a short period of time, the desired objectives not being met. And then, obviously, speed up the delivery time of that particular projects or programs. So I just share here some of the cases which being very successfully been done through the context of value management. Obviously in tandem with the existing established delivery system, but value management comes on board to further enhance the existing delivery systems being set by the particular organizations. In this particular case, the project was considered as pilot project by Economic Plan Unit of Prime Minister's Office of Malaysia, whereby we're being on board to display the effective and efficient application of value management. The project was initially costed about 207.5 million ringgit. Then after rigorous process of value management and looking into the systematic based functional analysis of conventional value management, we managed to identify the real core intended functions of that particular training institute owned by the Higher Ministry of Education of Government of Malaysia, and looking into spaces, looking into the components of the buildings and so on. And the real function was then not to enhance the skill of school leaders, but rather enhance the quality of school leaders. So resulted in substantial improvements to building components and building spaces, resulted in 76.4 million savings, which was then very significant. As a result of that, and that triggered the government of Malaysia to embrace value management as a mandatory requirement. It was way back in 2010 or so. Then, because of the success stories of this pilot project, the government make it a mandatory requirement that of all projects above 50 million ringgit, equivalent to about 11.5 million or so US dollars, subject to scrutiny through the process of value management. So it is a very interesting case indeed, because that become the milestones of the value management implementation in a big way in Malaysia through the government of Malaysia. And until today, value management is significantly being adopted at various interventions and at various ministries. Another case that also very interesting to discuss and address here is that on the proposed KL International Airport 2, it was way back almost 10 years ago, but it is considered significant because huge in nature and also becoming a milestone to many government companies, organizations. So we came on board at the strategic level, determining the strategic goals of the particular proposed airport. And we managed to establish through the, of course, statistical analysis, look into the forecasted growth of the tourists coming to Malaysia. We visualize or forecasted the figure comes to about 45 million passengers per annum in 2035. There was around 25 years later or so. Then, having that in mind, we come up with the a kind of basic concept. And from the value management perspective, we managed to classify components and split the project into various packages. If I'm not mistaken, about 43 or 45 packages altogether, in terms of procurement strategy, in terms of financing mode, and so on and so forth, all done through the process value management. Significantly, the cost was managed to be optimized for 6 billion ringgit. It's a big sum of money. And then the project was being delivered on time, and then considered as reasonably a remarkable airport, the biggest airport in the country, and that can cater for 45 million passengers per annum in years to come. This is a very interesting milestone for that. As of that, Malaysia Airport make it mandatory for all projects and asset procurements of the organization above 300,000 ringgit are subjected to value management process and scrutiny. Another interesting project is, though it's not really big, but more importantly is by looking into the value management application and blend with current delivery system of the particular organizations. A designer was being appointed and then to come up with a design of that particular proposed economic block and the additional requirements of that particular library. The cost was rather above the budget for that particular university. And then not only the budget, but also failed to fulfill the requirements of spaces and rooms for the academic staff. So we came on board and we managed to fulfill practically almost 100% or 90% of the requirements with the budget, with the reverse cost budget close to the budget, save being about around 9%. On top of that, we managed to provide the vacant land of 1 acre also, which not being utilized because of looking into the perspective of refurbish the existing library rather than build a new building of the block of building altogether. This is an interesting project, which is a social agenda. So that display that value management is not just meant for physical activities, but also to how to enhance, in this case, enhance the paddy field from the current 4 to 5 metric ton per hectare of that region, covers 10,000 acres, about 25,000 acres of land, to a more figure which is in tandem with the national average yield of the paddy, which was then 8 to 10 metric ton per hectare. So, and then look into the function perspective, all in all is to convey water. And we found out that some of the water was being acidic and too alkaline, which resulted in the poor water quality. So I did suggest for that particular organization to send somebody to Japan to study on how to convey water using the pipe system, which we did. And obviously, subsequent to that, that hopefully we reduce the acidity and too much alkaline for that particular water. So this is the something that I think worth to share, the current structure of the VM implementation, the government organizations led by Economic Planning and Practice Office. They are doing the value planning, they call it, or value assessment for the matter, internationally known as value planning. And then recently, they have also embarked on the strategic implementation of value management at such level, spearheaded by the PWD. We have our colleagues from Institute, which are currently the subject matter expert, and also we call this the practitioners of value management at PWD, and they are basically managed to convince EPU that we should also embark the value management at such level, and we call it VMS. So it's part of our organization anyway. But value engineering is being done conventionally at the technical departments, particularly PWD and Department of Obligation and Drainage. And value review is looking about more towards looking into the completed projects, whether or not completed project when being done in tandem or in adherence to the value analysis and value, in tandem with the value engineering and value assessment. Okay, this is a typical structure for one government company. adopting value management. I don't want to go into details on this, but there's a structure that you can go through and look into the details application. But this is really interesting because this is a proper structure, which is a blend with the current existing delivery system of the particular organizations. So with that, this short talk on, or very brief correlation between value management and how to enhance the organization delivery system through the experience of Malaysia, Malaysian government, GLC, and private sector organizations, and how value management can enhance the system in achieving their strategic goals, vision, mission, and objectives. So with that, thank you. And indeed, value management plays a very important role in assisting the government to produce the standard many years ago. And we have our own we also produce our own national guide on value management, which we are very pleased to share with the audience. Should the inquiry raised, we can just communicate with our secretariat. Thank you.